He is the niche of radio excellence. Ha! Glen Zito is in the building, the guest of my soul. Glenzo?
Eda,
Ndando?
barme.
Ndiwana auna kakati, bari mene na fedzi.
Auna nazim.
Nda.
Do.
Welcome.
Do. Thank you, man.
Yo!
Yeah.
Like a kid in a small cafe.
What are you seeing? Sweets, candy?
Candy shop. Candy, this is what I'm seeing right now. I remember 1999, if I'm not mistaken, we were doing a drive time show.
Yeah.
On Metro. I walked in Radio Park. You were playing there. I think it was 15 minutes on your show.
Yeah.
Called you. You came. Because the main reason was I wanted records.
Oh, vinyl wax.
Yeah. So now the advice you gave me was collect 20 records. And once you collect 20 records, you can now call yourself a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought 20 records would be enough to cover at least an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Because then from there, chances are, obviously, records were expensive. Even today, they're still expensive. They were going for like 120 a pop. Imagine in 1999, 120 a pop. So, the coming weeks, if you buy extra, you've got 30, you got 32, you got 33, you got 37, you got 40. Then after a year, you probably have an entire crate. You
know the reason why actually I wanted records from you was because of you had a show on Saturdays. A lot of people, a listener doesn't know that you had a dance show. So I would listen to your show from, I think, 12 to 3.
Yeah, 12 to 3.
And you would play pure records from start to finish.
Yeah.
So I thought, this guy, he's got a lot of records. Let me just go to him and maybe ask 20 records, man. Now, tell me about, that show, because as much as I said that a listener was not aware that you had a show like that.
So how the show started, actually, Grand Shakwan was doing that slot, 12 to 3. And for some reason, SAB were looking for an opportunity on a weekend slot, for someone to play a mix for maybe 30 minutes. And then on Grand Show. Obviously, it was unfamiliar territory for Bragrand.
Because he was
he was playing his R&B and so.
Yeah.
So, but he was very happy to have me on the show. And so a couple of months later, when they looked at the graph of the show, they realized that every time when I played that mix, the graph would just rise.
Skyrocket.
And go up. And then maybe after a year or so, SAB decided, to buy the entire show. To sponsor the entire show, and they asked me to host the show. And obviously, being very adventurous and loving music, and the idea was to push music that was not played on the radio. It was a great opportunity for me, be it house or hip hop. I was like, here's a great opportunity for me to help to sell records, to help to move the culture forward. And obviously, be working for a commercial radio, you have ads.
Yes.
So I had to negotiate with the marketing department that the first hour of the show when I start, can I kill all the ads? So the show started at 12, and then after, I think we had the news at 12, then I would play most of the ads, maybe leave a few for just before 1 o'clock, and I would play. It will just be music.
Wow.
It will just be music until 1 p.m. The next hour, the same thing, up until 3 o'clock. So, people still rave about it up to this day.
I still rave about it. Man. Recently you spoke about Deep House, about the audience not receiving the music. Especially Black people.
Yeah.
Can I just let the listener just bring them into light?
Let's be honest. When you play for white people, when they come to party, they don't have expectations. All they want is to have a good time. Whereas Black people, when they come to a gig, they in their head, and it's the very same song they've been playing the whole day. They come to a gig and they want to hear that song that they played the whole day 10 times or 40 times. They come with expectations, and that's why most of them, when they come to gigs, they get bored. You must be open-minded, man, that you're going to hear something different. That's what the club culture is all about. Also, giving exposure to those artists that are not known. So the boring thing about our people, black people, is that when they go to a club, already they're expecting to hear this song, that song. And then, when you have that mentality, then it spoils your evening because then that song does not get played. And then you get upset, you get angry and say, yeah, this DJ plays rubbish. No, he doesn't play rubbish. You are the one who does not understand music.
Yeah, man. So, your take?
Yeah, man. I mean, that is the truth, man. Listen, nightclubs were created solely to experiment with music, and also the idea was to give exposure to songs that were not played on radio. I mean, if you scour around the world, no radio sounds like radio in South Africa, where South Africa has always given preference to or exposure to house music.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even if I would go to the States, the only time that you hear house music in the States was actually in retail. When you walk into a clothing store, particularly because those stores were managed by white people. So white people basically just loved house music. But you must also remember that a lot of people, especially in America, were very ignorant. Some of them didn't love house music because they said it was for the gay people. You must remember the people who started the culture were gay people.
We're actually gay people. Yes. Yeah.
Trying to find a space for themselves. People like Frankie Knuckles.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So every time when Americans say, "No, man, that's for gay people, man," but obviously with the music spreading to Europe, the Europeans obviously were very happy to embrace the culture, and of course, for some reason, it landed in South Africa. Imagine how far we are.
Wow.
I mean, house music skipped all those countries at the top.
To land
your
into
Cameroon, your
Africa.
Senegal, your Egypt, your Morocco, your Cote d'Ivoire, your Angola, and landed straight in South Africa. Which is like unbelievable. And we embrace the culture.
Wow, man.
So, yeah, unfortunately, man, when people go out, there's expectations. You must play this, you must play that. I think you need to go out you must be open-minded, You are going there and to listen and experiment and listen to songs that you didn't hear or you never hear on the radio. Then it makes it fun.
Another thing with regards to deep house, soulful house on radio, because with this show specifically, we focus more on the dance show, the dance music.
Yeah.
So what is your take on deep house on radio?
Well, I mean, my take is like, listen, man. And unfortunately, moving forward, there's going to be new people, there's going to be new players, just like with clubs, There's new players, there's new money. And when they come and jump on the bandwagon, they go with what is popular. People don't want to be different. It's nice to always be different. I mean, I love piano. We love piano. I go to piano gigs, etc., etc. But it's not the only genre. So the strange thing is that you'll find that on the same street. I'm just giving you an example. You have every club playing the same genre of music. Instead of going south and giving people an alternative, something that is different. House music is great on radio. Obviously, radio is commercial.
Yeah.
But we know that most of it that is released has vocals. So it is not really a problem. And house music, obviously, as much as it was international, look what it has created.
True.
Look what it has created in the culture. Piano and other genres. And if you listen to piano now, it's becoming soulful. It's moving to the south as well, becoming very soulful. So we are South Africa, man. We are about dance music. We shouldn't be copying what the Americans are doing, where you hear an R&B song after an R&B song, a hip hop song. We are a different nation, and it is in our roots and in our veins, and it's a seed that we planted those 20, 30 years ago that let there be house.
South African deep house?
It's fantastic. The last song that I played, Say Hi.
You played Radish the Myth.
Yeah.
Oh man, my boy from the East Rand.
Yeah, he's one of the finest. I think I discovered his music a couple of years ago. I've got so much of his music. Listen, South African music, especially deep house, unfortunately, it's not getting the kind of exposure that it deserves. You know, you have Bosol Frika, whose music you hardly ever hear on the radio. But you know what? Let's keep moving it. You know, let's keep moving it. I mean, I met Kaya now. I went there obviously with a new Soul Frika song featuring Mahu, which is such a dope song. And now it has become very prominent on the station. But it's a pity that people are abandoning South African deep house, and there's so much of it, and it is brilliant. And for it to thrive, it needs radio airplay. You know, I don't think it is played enough, unless of course you have a specialty show you played on a weekend. But you know, I think we should give it exposure just as much as we give piano exposure, because it's South African music. You want these young producers, the upcoming producers, to be just as big as the piano guys, you know? And if they become successful and they are in demand overseas, the country benefits financially. I can assure you that. The country will also benefit. And both genres will grow together.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, you know, Glenn, you've played a huge role, indirectly so, being on radio as a club DJ. And I look up to you since from day one.
Yes, sir.
Since the days of Radio Bob
Yeah.
to Metro to Radio 2000 and now on Kaya.
Yeah.
And you are still my hero, man.
No, thank you so much, man.
Shout out to you.
No, shout out to you, man.
Ndayandu.
Indawo yandu na mahali corner of soul.
Ndende.
Yeah.